But the broader lens is on the football club. So that's the list management machinations. We think Tom De Koning's going to St Kilda. In the spotlight is also the senior coach, Michael Voss, and he's going to dominate discussion this week. Now, he's got 9 games, really, to show that he is the man to take him forward next year with those list tweaks. Now, if there is a white flag over the last 2 months, can they go with him? How much do they have to show to keep Michael Voss? Because that is the most important gauge, the biggest gauge and the toughest decision for this football club over the remainder of the year.
Well, it's not what we think, it's what Graham Wright thinks. And he's got a great judge. He's got a great radar on where things sit. We know his game plan and we know that it's been effective in the recent past. So is this just a blip? Is this one bad year? Is this an unlucky year? The second half against Richmond, was that unlucky in round 1? Is it unlucky the way they fade out in games? Are they unlucky with their injury list? Are they unlucky that their star factor players haven't dominated? I don't know. I'm not trying to give Vossi outs, but he has been reasonably successful under serious challenge. I feel like he's been under pressure
the whole time.
6 weeks in every year of his coaching at Carlton. So it's not really even what we think anymore. It's what they do and what Graham Wright thinks.
A lot goes into it. A lot goes into not just Vossi, but the whole coaching structure. And I think it plays into aspects of the way they're playing their football at this particular point. Because even on the weekend, there's elements of structure that look sound, but then the breakdown of that structure is quite evident as well. And we'll have a look at this particular one here where they've got reasonable structure there. A missed tackle by McGovern, which he just has to nail on Zurha. A high kick inside forward 50 like that to Curtis. And they've just got players that are in an area. There's no structure to this whatsoever. You look at the amount of Carlton numbers they had back in the second quarter. They had all their players behind centre just trying to protect things so the Kangaroos couldn't score late in the game. But it was just numbers everywhere. Every time you looked up the screen, there was no direction. There was no education to where you need to be as a particular player within the Carlton structure. So prior to that, it looks good from behind the goals. But once the play unfolds, they go back to either watching the ball, no control on where each other should be in today's game, and they just break down with that structure. They just have so many numbers that become irrelevant in the way that they're playing their footy.
And Jacob Wiedering with that ankle concern, he's going to be touch and go for Thursday night against Port Adelaide. So that defence, he is so important to them. He'll have a light week on the track if he is to get up. What about the ruck battle against Tristan Cherry on the weekend?
Well, he bashes him. He's done it before and he knows that TDK, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it and he doesn't handle it.
The physicality.
This here is what we put on the radar last night. He puts him into the fence. Now, if that happened at Collingwood, they're coming from everywhere.
You just showed it.
One in, all in. We've just seen that you're taking on all 23, and not one person come and remonstrated with him. This is what he does. He's ruck clumsy to perfection. And every time that it became a confrontation between the two, he didn't want to know about it, De Koning. He really didn't. And it just got progressively more intimidating for him as the day went on. From a Kangaroo's point of view, you absolutely love this big guy. You love him. In a lot of ways, he's the spirit animal for this group. And then they went after him at the wrong times and got confused.
That's right.
Got rattled and gave the big man an extra kick at goal, which got them on their way, gave them enormous confidence. But what he did to Tom De Koning, I'm thinking, gee, is that the guy you need at the front of your footy club? Like, if you're going to pay him 1.6, you want a guy out the front who's comfortable to lead the way with physicality, to lead the way for the group. I'm not sold. I'm really not sold, and I just think that what Tristan was able to show and expose again, I think for the second time, should make people stop and just think, what are we buying here? What are we getting? An athlete that can ruck and can play a little bit of forward and have some nice games, which he has done. I'm not saying he can't play by any stretch. Seriously, of course he can. But do you get the absolute competitor that's going to go to war with you like Tristan Cherry does?
I think it's the group going together, though, and I totally agree with what you said in regards to going into the fence and just no support there for a player that has just been basically manhandled by another opposition player. My biggest thing in footy is that if I'm going into battle with Kingy and we're on the same team, that you've got trust in each other, that that if something happens on game day, we're there to support that player in any way, shape or form. And that's not there either. So that's just another layer that they need to break down as a footy club.
It's almost captaincy material from Chiston Cherry, that physicality.
Yeah.
Max Gaundy's at Melbourne. What did you see inside the centre square, Kid?
Yeah, well, they've got assets, the Kangaroos, that they have to expose, and clearly it's in the midfield. That's where their gifted players are. And yeah, even when they're in forward half stoppages on the weekend, on Saturday, they really got hold of them. Five goals from forward half stoppages. They were just on the move. They were hunting. Everyone wanted the ball. They wanted to be involved. And they brought an energy that was all-consuming, and just in the end, too much. McKerch is ready. He's sweating off this stoppage. When's it going to poke out? Who's going to win it? He's ready to go as soon as he sees the tackle pressure come, and he's good enough to dance and step through. And this is what the Kangaroo fans have been waiting for it all to come together, for Curtis to do what he does forward to centre, for LDU, and he did it for a quarter last week, and he probably did it for 2.5 quarters this week. There's a full game coming at some stage, Jono, but they were just dynamic. They were brilliant. 7 goals to 2 from stoppage. And Carlton, you can look at this both ways. They just get lost. Like, I just don't understand what Haynes and what Saad are doing. I mean, you can raffle the uncontested mark in the goal square from a stoppage inside 50.
That's the organisation, Jono, you were talking about.
It's attitude. It's everything. It's not even just organisation.
Yeah.
There's a competitor in those guys. You've got to not want to be beaten by that nominal opponent you've got for 30 seconds of a stoppage. They just don't buy in. But Kangaroos...
you've got to see the reward the other way too, Kingy, that they're not rewarding each other's behaviours either. They're not rewarding the fact that I'm going to do something for you so you can excel. No, I want to excel. That needs to shift as well within this group. And when it does, it'll click. But at the moment, there's a distance.